wasn't only here to be a legend, here to bust up all the metric. What's a now? Just a second, I devour competition, taking losses not accepted. You a G, but I'm a legend, breaking laws and breaking physics. Yeah, I don't never quit, but I'm conceited. I was never broke, I called it pre-rich. Legacy greater than the achievements. Legendary is my only prefix. Don't belong in the 7, don't belong in this time. I should be in 67, 88, 95. Don't belong in this era, I'm the greatest all time. Only kings live forever, I ain't never gonna die. I'm a legend, greatest ever anytime. I'm a legend, I ain't never gonna die. I'm a legend.
What is going on YouTube? Jackson back with another video, and this is another commentary video. So I got some really good feedback a while ago, especially regarding these type of videos, just to sort of give you like an insight into my movements and also like my split currently. So this is the shoulder and bicep session, and so pretty much after warm-ups, getting into some heavy incline, like really steep incline shoulder barbell presses. So I've been really bad at these for the past couple of months because I actually had a shoulder injury in my supraspinatus, so it caused me to like press really wrong, and so I've just been rehabbing that for a while. So this is 130 kilos, so this is the second set, and pretty much for the working loads and sets, the loads are the same for the 3 sets, so it's about 8 to 10. So the first 2 I'll go really really lenient on the rep range, so I'll just reach the lower rep range of 8 reps. Then pretty much the last set is to failure. So if I get more than 2 reps or just beat the rep range, I'm currently allowed to increase the load. Not by much, but like I said, just the rate of progression is what will really just trigger the performance and also help with increasing, muscle mass and also tearing down the fibers here. So as you can see, Emmy's just making sure I don't drop it on my face like a absolute clown. But yeah, so pretty much this was a really fun movement, and I'm really enjoying these. Even though we're meant to have a Smith machine, currently I don't have the capabilities for that at the gym, so barbell is just fine as it is. Alrighty, so getting into the second movement, we have single arm dumbbell lateral raises. So we'll do again 3 sets of 8 to 10 and pretty much just go to failure in the last set. So as you can see here, just each side for 8 to 10 reps. And if I just beat the rep range, I'll go and slowly increment the load, even though I don't really like to for these because I always had struggle activating my medial delts on the side. So that's why actually a while ago a really good friend of mine, Ali Raza, who is a pro in men's physique, taught me how to do lateral raises a lot more effectively, and as you can see, I'm activating my medial delt there. So now getting into the third movement for the day is the dumbbell side to front raises. So I do 3 sets of these, and they're all the same with the same load. So it's 6 to the side, 6 to the front, and then all the way down to 1 rep to the side, 1 rep to the front. So pretty much in between, there's no rest, only after the set is finished. So you can see here, it's pretty decent form, and you'll see towards the end, I'm really trying to hold on there, especially with handling just the overall lactic acid buildup, because it is, it's not pretty fun, but like I said, the blood flow stimulation after it is awesome. So the pumps are really good. So as you can see here, I'm just pretty much trying to make sure I'm not swinging as much as possible. If you do find yourself swinging a lot after looking at your footage, I'll just recommend just lowering the weight. There's literally nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, no one's really going to care that you're going to lower the weight on a movement, especially something like this where it involves a lot more contraction and also slower movements. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm just trying not to lateral raise too high. I don't want to activate my traps too much because I really want to put those medial delts and also the anterior part of the delt in control. So and then into the second set of this. Unfortunately, I didn't record the third, but yeah, so pretty much close-up footage just to sort of see how the fibers are activating. So also you can tell, especially on like a lateral raise or a frontal raise movement, you'll also look in the mirror and also see the muscles actually activating if you're doing the movement correctly, and also just by feeling it. So even though I'm closing my eyes and hoping that the set will be done and it's pretty much burning, sometimes I usually like to do that to sort of visualize the muscle really contracting. So pretty much, you know, like what Arnold and stuff said back in the 1970s, saying, you know, the mind-muscle connection is so essential, and it really is. It's just a very psychological aspect, especially in bodybuilding. So yeah, you can see I'm pretty much just dying there, halfway between the set. But as you can see, it's a really good movement, and I highly recommend anyone doing it, especially if you want really nice and wide shoulders, especially from front. All right, so the third movement is now getting into a bit of arms, but we're doing a tempo superset of the preacher curls. So pretty much 3 seconds on the way down, and then 2 seconds on the way up, and a 1 second squeeze. So towards the end here, I get a little bit sloppy with the reps, but like I said, especially when you're training with a higher intensity, it's gonna be pretty hard to control a movement with like 100% form. So that's why, though, at the end, it's sort of fine in my opinion, but like I said, just make sure you're watching those reps at all times. So as you can see pretty much here, after I do about 8 to 10 reps, I go straight into bent over rear raises. Even though I'm meant to have a pec deck machine for this, I don't have access to one, unfortunately. But as you can see, we make do and just do a variation. So as you can see here, I'm really trying to activate like my rear delts, also like my upper traps, all that area, because that was such a weak point when I was competing actually for season A this year, and you'll see some pictures for that too on where the weak points were. Now for the next movement after that, we've got a superset of the incline dumbbell curls. So pretty much for these, there's no tempo. So even though I was just trying to smash them out, as you can see, I'm just really trying to focus on the full lengthening extension and then just going up to the top and squeezing. So my arms are pretty cooked at this point already. So I try to just make the load a little bit lighter instead of curling like 20 or 30 kilos. And you can see I just go straight into the alternating dumbbell curls. So these are one of my favorite movements as well. Really just make sure that your feet together, your chest is nice and high, you're standing nice and upright, and you're sort of not trying to swing side to side, and really just trying to use your bicep to pull the weight up, not by swinging from side to side. So that's pretty much my recommendation on how to do it correctly. It's gonna differ for everyone pretty much, but like I said, I hope you can take those points on and see how you go. So yeah, so this is pretty much most of my shoulders and biceps movement. It's pretty stock standard, nothing special, just good old fashioned progression, and yeah, have a good one. Alrighty guys, so it's post-workout, and currently for today, which is our moderate day, I just have 1 scoop of whey protein isolate with 300 mils of unsweetened almond milk, pretty low calories, which is good and tastes really good, and also with 1 banana. So that's for some pretty good carbs, and then finishing off with 1 bagel and 20 grams of straw jam. That was the one. So yeah, this is pretty much most of my post-workout days, and these are pretty much the only sugars that I have throughout the day. I just don't like to have much like high sugar in my diet. It just makes me feel crap, and also I have a lot of inflammation. So this is pretty much the only sugar I have besides the cereal post-workout that I have. So yeah, so this is pretty much a post-shoulder and bicep workout. And yeah, I'm gonna get... Hey going guys, it's Jackson and I'm back. So finally back on YouTube again after almost a year. So pretty much I'm just gonna bring you up to speed on where I've been, what I've been doing, future shows, the situation now here in Melbourne, Victoria, all that kind of stuff. So pretty much throwback to a year ago, we were getting ready for season A of this year in 2021. And that was going really well. And I was making some great progress with Scott, and we were making some really, really good gains, and also getting really nice and lean for the show on that way with condition. And it was really good. And, you know, couldn't complain. No questions asked. It was a really fun prep overall. It was great to also prep in summer, and also really just, you know, do my first proper real prep for the first time, well, ever, you know, really to get a condition that I never thought I'd ever could. And so with that, we were, you know, 3 weeks out and decided to do a trial peak week. And from that peak week, essentially, my body had a bit of a reaction. I had an electrolyte imbalance where I had not enough magnesium in my body. So I started to get really sluggish and I was starting to retain a lot of water. So I'll show you in one of the videos up here in the corner of what occurred. So pretty much I gained about 8 kilos of water over the span of about 2 weeks. And I was a week out from the IFBB State Vic Pro Qualifier, and I was just in terrible shape. I felt really sluggish, really slow. I couldn't curl a 10 kilo dumbbell. I couldn't even barbell press 60 kilos, which was really very demotivating, and it placed a really bad mindset on myself for the ability for me to compete and bring the best version of myself to the stage I could. And so I decided that about maybe 5-6 days out, we just called it off. So pretty much I just, made sure that, I was going to get that water out of my body, and I went to the doctors, made sure everything was good. Everything was completely fine. I was completely healthy, but they couldn't really see much of a difference with my electrolytes, which was really strange, especially from what they got with the readings. But I knew straight away that just didn't feel good at all to experience that slow feeling. And yeah, I just really couldn't get up and do anything. I was dragging my legs all day. I thought this is pretty much what, the last couple of weeks of prep would do. But, when I was 3 weeks out before we just started that trial carb load and trial peak week, I was fine. I was doing a lot of cardio. I was doing a lot of training. I was also, eating not much food, which is pretty stock standard in the last month of your prep, and you feel pretty tired. But yeah, it was really a great learning experience though, to sort of reset and put my focus into growing again, to make sure that for next year we can just, bring the best version of ourselves that we can. And so that's currently what we're doing. So it's right now, today is the 5th of September. It's also Father's Day as well. So I've been hanging out with my dad a bit today as well. But in terms of saying that, it's in growing now, we're back on another growth phase. So I'll give you some check-ins as well in this video too, so on how I'm looking. Currently though, my fasted weight was 123.7 kilograms. So we're getting pretty heavy, but I think Scott wants us somewhere towards upwards of 130 because he wants us to do bodybuilding. So even though I still want to do classic, if I don't make weight for it next show, I'm not really fussed anymore. I'm not going to marry my identity to a bodybuilding class. I like bodybuilding overall as a sport, and at the end of the day, if I have more of a frame for bodybuilding or classic physique, either or. So, I'm not fussed at all. So, but in saying that, this is the new Classic Physique Chronicles series. So this is going to be the second proper series, and I'm finally going to commit to getting up a video once every 1 to 2 weeks of just, training, nutrition, day in the life, hanging out with friends, all that kind of stuff, and just sort of giving an insight into my life and what I'm doing right now, and especially with how I'm training in lockdown and all that kind of stuff. So also, just a bit of educating on stuff, with everything when it comes down to nutrition, training, also cardio and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, so it's pretty much a full off-season day of eating. And yeah, so hope you enjoy the video, and have a great day. See ya.